Just make sure we're on. Excellent, thank you. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I thought we'd start with a simple one. This isn't prompted, by the way, so Byron has no idea what he's getting into, which was part of the Ask Me Anything. It's a Sunday afternoon. How do you explain to friends and family around the barbecue the LDK in your model?
Firstly, if we could move that slide, because it's every time I look over my shoulder, it's not pleasant. We just had a leadership. I've just come off 3 days of our leadership retreat, and we did my intro, 3-minute intro, completely in AI. I did not say one word or record one word. I showed the data for Aldi last night, and I'd much rather look at an AI vision of myself. I say that we are a retirement village. In fact, what I say is I work in seniors living. We're a retirement village provider. However, we provide all the care and services that you need through the web of life throughout our life promise, with very simple and transparent financials. That's about it in one sentence.
And that sounds like private aged care, doesn't it? It's a retirement village model where you provide all the care and support. So explain for everyone in the audience, what are your business levers when you're looking at a project? So you've got 2 projects. You've got Greenway Views, which has been up and running now for 5 years, is it?
Yep, January 2020.
Yeah, 5
6
years.
weeks before COVID.
And you've got Amberfield, which you're launching as we speak.
Yep.
And that's another...
Amberfield, Greenway's 327 apartments. Amberfield Stage 1 opened in October last year, 52 villas plus communals. Stage 2 opens, we can hand it over end of this month, 127 apartments. That includes 20 within the dementia sort of cottage setting and about 35 care homes, sort of 1-bedroom apartments. And then Stage 3 started construction. It'll be 193 apartments, and we're calling them sky villas, which are big, large, sort of luxurious properties with a huge amount of communals. That's over $200 million build. That'll be April 27. We've got the landings here in Sydney, and we just secured a site in Brisbane.
So that's official now. We can talk about Brisbane.
I'll talk about Brisbane. I just need some permission to tell you exactly where it is.
So coming back to it, so that's quite a lot you've gotten on in the last few years, which is really great to see, and I think it's a testament to the success of your model. You heard Aaron talk about, they don't make money off care, they make money off the property component. So for the benefit of everyone in the room, do you just want to talk through the levers of the business from a financial perspective and capital?
Like Aaron, we tried to simplify a fairly complex structure of money that comes in. So we simplify our cash flow drivers. They come from our development profits. They come from our membership model. So we try and get 60%. At the moment, we're sitting around sort of like 58% up front for our village membership model. And then we get our money from capital gain. So our operating cash flow model is sensitive to that capital gain. And capital gain we view as our reward. It's our performance incentive if we do a good job. The demand for our product will continue to drive, which will drive that capital growth. And then the membership model, we allocate a certain percentage of effectively what's been accrued per year within that village membership, and then subsidise our value proposition. So we very clearly articulate what that value proposition is, so we can invest that allocation of money into the value prop, have then very disciplined sort of budgetary measures, I suppose, to make sure the teams stay within those operating budgets, and that makes it sustainable.
So let's just, the membership model might be new to some people in the room. So how is the membership model different from that traditional DMF model that everyone is probably used to having in their own businesses through the moment?
Yep, so if you're coming to live with us, we'll explain to you there are 3 components as to what you'll spend. 1, property, and that's as simple as money in, money out. Give me $1 million, you'll get $1 million when you leave, within 6 months of leaving, or earlier, by law if someone else moves in. Ask the family, ask the resident, do you understand that? They go, yep, tick. That's very, very simple. Next component is a village membership model, and it is a fixed amount per apartment for life. So it's not a percentage that is tacked to the value of your home. So, and the reason for that, the membership model delivers benefits that are all the same for everyone in the village. So it doesn't make sense that someone that pays double the amount for their home is paying double the amount of a DMF or membership model, because you get the same benefits. And then within that, we articulate what those benefits are. the most powerful benefit of our business, and we heard from a resident panel at our leadership retreat yesterday, is the one move promise. And that is our promise to you is that if you live with us, we will provide all care and services that you need through your end of life, dementia care, palliative care, 24/7 nursing, all the things that you've heard about. And you can downsize without cost. So we are a licensed loan model as opposed to a sort of traditional lease loan model where if you need to access or move because of usually memory or mobility, we just amend your license. So your legals and your financials flow. They follow you all the way through. So if you need to go from your 3-bedroom home down to a care suite or into one of the cottages, everything just follows you, and then when you leave, you get the money at the end of the day.
And you do have an option with the membership fee where you can again pay that on the back end, so you're able to then tailor that to the financial circumstances of the customer as well. So customer driven, so you can have those very strong lens there.
Customer driven, but again, the model is sensitive to getting that up front. You need to keep your people infrastructure and your services ahead of the wave. So you need that capital investment up front. So we sell to up front, but we also know that some people can't afford up front. So when you talk about levers, we review pricing at all aspects every 6 months, and some of those levers that we can pull is the membership. So you might push the deferred up a bit higher, or the upfront up a bit higher, and lower to try and encourage that to sort of sit within those guidelines that we can operate in.
So that specifically is the balancing act is a bit of interest on what, maybe using empathy or new development, what percentage of customer is taking the upfront membership model? You know, the studies to talk about deferred. How are you changing the norms with the membership model to enable your business to happen?
As we sit here today, it's sitting around 53% up front. And we were quite curious about that because Greenway, the landings is sitting at around 87% up front. Established village, huge amount of demand and very little supply. The landings is a green zone. And one of the things, if you do start to provide care, acknowledge and model that your turnover will significantly reduce. Yeah. So our turnover last year, we've been there for 6 years, was about 40% lower than what you would expect for a mature retirement village because of the care and services that are being provided. That's a lesson for us and for everyone as well. What was really curious is at stage 1 at Enfield, much younger cohort, larger village style, not much care. They're the people that are buying for the future. Much lower percentage of upfronts. It's not sitting around 42-43%. Stage 2, it's nudging the 60% right now as we sit. Older cohort who need more care and what will certainly in their life. So that human dynamic we didn't appreciate.
So you mentioned the landings, and I think this comes back to the conversation around today is that we sit in the room, we hear about new developments, new products. You can choose your own destiny really from day one as the operator. Talk us through taking your model and retrofitting it into a well-established village such as the landings, and which has a bit of history that people know in the room. So, you know, you've got 20, 30 years behind you that you're coming in as a new operator with a new idea. Just talk everyone through that journey.
Imagine the most litigated village in, I think, New South Wales history. 20 bits of litigation between the operator and the village residents in the 8 years before we took over. We walk in the door, all guns blazing. We are a brand new model, brand new business. I've never been in the industry before. You're an existing retirement village. We're going to give you care and services. And what we want you to do is to give us all your cap and go from now on. And we got torched.
We got torched. Where are you going to take?
That led to a little bit of introspection and reflection. That was before we even took over. They're
very change averse sometimes, as residents, aren't they?
Absolutely beautiful. We love every single one of them. That led to a very long trust development process and really caused us to communicate very heavily. And these are the lessons if you are going to convert. Engage with your residents, engage with your residents community, understand who your ambassadors are going to be, because they're the ones that are going to be telling everyone what to do. We ended up not having to sell as much. What we had to do was just do what we said that we were going to do, day after day after day after day. Create expectations, manage expectations, and then deliver. We engaged with them on the legal contracts. We got the residents committee to sign off on the legal contracts before we even submitted them. We got them to sign off on all our service offerings, make sure they were comfortable with it, and then we that took us about 4 or 5 months to actually get to that legal point, and then we gave them a 100-day good work period. So it ended up about probably 10 months of time that they had to pull out at any point.
And for the benefit of those who, how did the contract change for the resident?
So they were a traditional lease arrangement. We had a deed of variation to the lease that altered the capital gain. So if you operate in a model where you keep all the capital gain, it's a much, much easier task for you. We were asking them to give us a lot of money. So a deed of variation for the lease, and then we had a personal services agreement by definition, which was the village membership agreement. And that said, in exchange for you giving us capital gain, you'll get the benefits of our membership.
And we had this chat before, so I know, so this one, you'll know this one was coming, but from the operator's perspective, that's a lot of work, going in, changing a well-established model to a private aged care model, your model. For those of you thinking, oh, this is in the too hard basket, let's talk dollars and cents here. What sort of value creation came through the other side of this for the weekend?
We bought that village in February 2019. As we sit here today, it has grown by about 140% in value. So we doubled the bank valuation within about 4 years.
Yep.
From traditional, and the simple way of looking at that is, as we know, they value on a discounted cash flow basis. When you bring forward a lot of those, when you bring forward a lot of your cash flows through upfront memberships, it has an ongoing impact on the valuation. And then what we have found with our model, and PwC, when they were highly regarded as consultants, did a detailed analysis on our model, and the value proposition uplifts our retails by about 35%. So exactly the same village next door to each other, our village will sell for about 35% more, and then that ongoing capital gain, that helps.
So when you talk about the business levers, that's right there is very compelling. You're getting the upside in the value, you're getting the cash up front, and I was speaking to a regarded value in the sector, and actually said that the cash up front model is a bit of the darling from a value perspective, because it really does paint a good picture for the future. I think I'm conscious we're getting close to time, and we had a bit of a panel at the end, but the last one I want to touch on again, just for context for everyone in the room, is the number of bodies that you have on the ground in one of your communities. Can you just articulate for everyone just the sheer volume of people moving around one of your communities?
Yeah, well, residents and staff, so the landings. Curiously, you mentioned people receiving care. So the landings, we have about 35% is where it's sort of stable of residents receiving care and services, just under 300 residents, about 290 residents, about 95 staff. So that's the landings. Greenway, about 65% of residents receiving care and services. We have 400 odd residents there, about 220 staff. And that's a mixture of about a third full-time salary, third permanent part-time, third casual workforce to sort of flow through there. So it's got a heavy people infrastructure. You need scale. In our model, you need scale anyway. With the way we operate, the villages, village managers, you need a CEO. They have all that. They look much flatter sort of structure.
So I'm going to leave it there because we've got to get on. We're going to get to the panel. I'm sure there's plenty to unpack from that when we get to the panel for the people in the room. So please thank Byron for his time. We'll have him back next year.